All right, and here we are, episode 6 of Ordinary Other Selected Files. Derek X301 here today with a very talented artist, songwriter,
Appreciate that.
A&R, Space the Prince, man. How you doing today,
Appreciate
bro?
that, man. I'm really good, man. I appreciate you having me. You know what I'm saying? Feels really good to be back in Miami and to come get this work done with you, man.
No, yeah, that's definitely special, man. You guys coming out here. I
Right.
appreciate you and your lady coming out here.
Yeah, no problem, man.
That's mad royalty. So let's get into the beginning.
Right.
I like to introduce my fans, let the whole origin story.
Right.
So tell me where you grew up.
I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. And then after that, I was just ping ponging all around, you feel me? But it was more so ping ponging from Florida to like Atlanta, Georgia, and then from other places like I would just move around periodically. I had this thing where I would do like with my parents. I would like do a year with my dad and then a year with my mom, or like half a year with my dad, half a year with my mom, until they kind of like got tired of my like shenanigans, and it was like, nah, go to your father, go to your mother. So I lived a lot of places, but the music for me somewhat started. It started in Central Florida, like beginning my high school year, and just being influenced by my the artists and the recording artists at that time that I was looking up to and had that had a big influence on me, like Lil Wayne, of course, Wiz Khalifa. I gotta say T-Pain, Chris Brown, and etc. I could go on and on for days. Like, you feel me? I just use music itself. I don't really like to give it to one artist specifically or one group of artists specifically or one era. I just let music all in itself like inspire me and stuff like that.
Man, like those areas you just said, New York, Georgia, those
Right.
are all like very, and New York,
Right.
those are all very creative spots. So
Right.
like, I can see the early influences already bubbling up.
Right, right.
Which state? You said Central Florida
Yeah.
influenced you the most?
Now, Central Florida is where I began. That's like where I started.
Okay.
Yeah. And I wasn't like really trying to wait on nobody. I was just like, man, I've been writing music and writing like little funny verses and just like verses with like serious wordplay or like punchlines and stuff like that. And I was like, man, I want to put this out. Like, I want people to hear this. I don't want to just have this here and wait to go to school and just only rap for the people that I have in my school. So what I did was I took it upon myself and I got a laptop. I had no microphone, no experience of recording or like even the knowledge behind it. I just looked up a recording software, and at that time it was like FL Studio or Fruity Loops. I think that's what it was called at that time. Audacity people were using, and Mixcraft. So those three softwares I downloaded on my laptop, and then when I got on FL, I was like, nah, this is beat making. I'm just stay away from this. And then I got on Audacity and Mixcraft, and I would just download instrumentals, and I would like tweet to people and be like, hey, I'm about to do this remix, and people were just like, yeah, go for it. So I'll go get my laptop, put it in the towel closet, bend it forward to use the webcam mic, and just rap it, try to like mix it on those little softwares and get the best sound quality, and then I'll just put it out. And the feedback that I got from everybody, like it took me for a surprise. I was like, damn, like people actually interacting and giving me feedback and like giving me suggestions.
Definitely a great feeling.
Yeah,
for sure.
for early on, like this
Early
is before
interaction.
this is before SoundCloud and like YouTube rap
What
artists.
year was this?
This is probably like 2010 or 2011, yeah, around those times. And it wasn't even those apps that we have now to put out our music, like Apple Music and Spotify, none of those was around. And I was using like Hot New Hip Hop, like MP3 Twit to put the songs out on Twitter and stuff like that. And then I was just getting a lot of feedback, so that's when I knew like, okay, I have something with this. I have a following with this, that's people are following me and they're like, eager to hear more from me. So I try to just start to find new ways to make my craft better and make my like business better and my brand better as well.
So when you recorded for the first time, was there like a special type of rush that you're like, damn, I'm actually doing it? And do you remember what that song was called?
The first time I recorded, it was a rush. It actually really was a rush because like the raps that I was rapping, I was cursing in it and I was still like young, you feel me? And my mom's was not playing that shit. And like I was in the crib, so like part of the rush was like kind of like sneaking it, you feel me? Trying not to curse as loud, but she didn't really take much time to understand that this is what my child loves to do, and I'm gonna give him that space to do it. So yeah, I definitely had a rush, and I like for me seeing my mom give me that space, like I appreciated that, and it drove me even more to like, yo, she co-signs on it, like I'm gonna go, like I'm gonna keep going, like you feel me? So
True. So when you were recording, right? Who who were you mostly listening to at that time? You're like, I want to be like this man. I want to be this top cat.
I mean, I could give it to.
If you said 2010, 2011, I think I know who the answer is.
Yeah,
respectfully.
Respectfully, I'm gonna say Lil Wayne, of course. I'm gonna definitely have to say 50 Cent as well. 50 Cent was my first favorite rapper, period.
You know what's crazy? I don't know if I told this on here before, but how I originally got into rap, you know, my dad would always, when he would take me on the weekends, he would always take me in the car. That was the easiest way for me to fall asleep.
Right.
But when I started getting CD players around second,
Right.
third grade,
Right.
I had no remorse. I took his Get Rich or Die Trying CD because we used to burn CDs.
Right.
So like they used to have, you know, the different color CDs, and I had like the same color as that one. So I just swapped the clean version for the dirty version. I'm like, I'm taking this whole to school.
Right. Yeah, burning. It's so crazy. I forgot about that era, man. Burning CDs, man. Like, you just gotta shout that stuff out, man, because that's like that's what kind of gave us our work ethic that we have now that the new generation doesn't have. They can just easily, oh, I have Apple Music, oh, I have Spotify, oh, I have the the YouTube app that lets me download and convert music. You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't take that time to go find a favorite artist and like get those Soulja Boy spam songs that it was like, oh, you think you're getting this little T.I. or Lil Wayne song and it's that you feel me?
We had to put like Kelly Clarkson's name and definitely people's name. I seen what
we had to go through all of that.
And also what's interesting about that situation is, I don't know, I think the second situation is cooler where, all right, for the streaming thing, yeah, it's cool if you get 1 billion streams, but that sounds crazy.
Right.
Now the CD wave, I remember DJ Drama when he got the feds kicked in and took like 800 CDs.
Right.
That's like way cooler to me than 1 billion streams. Nice. So, you know, CDs definitely made its way into the game, and I don't think I'll ever forget it. I still got my CD collection to this day.
Right. CDs and like streaming, like those to me, in my opinion, are like two separate fans. Like your fans who go stream your stuff, they're like I don't know, the level of love is just different between those two type of fans. I feel like for fans to come out and go to the store to actually wait in line and buy your CD, like those are where really the core driven fans, like your real core audience to me. Like now you can't really, it's hard to kind of like determine it because it's so accessible. It's just like, okay, I'm gonna listen to it. All right, it's done.
And about the streams where it might say the album is number 1, but that might just because they got a really, really, really popping viral song. And that's what everybody's streaming. So everybody could not stream none of that album but that one song, and that shit's still gonna be number 1.
Right.
So it's like, it's kind of like the game is kind of filtered or something.
Yeah. I mean, it has its pros and cons to the change, but most people would say it changed for the better in a sense with the streaming outcome.
So let's go back to your recording process. Since you first started, how has that leveled up?
Oh, it leveled up.
Actual studios, actual mics.
Yeah. Boy, it had a whole level up, boy. It grew up. Like, it wasn't even just a level up, it grew up. Like, definitely using real equipment for sure. Just building the recording or studio etiquette and work ethic, you know what I'm saying? Like, as when you becoming a recording artist, there's like certain niches that you have to develop as well. Like to become a good artist, I feel like, you know what I'm saying? You can't just take it for a loop and just be like, okay, I'm just an artist and I rap and I could just go to the studio and just make hits or just make good songs. Like, no, you have to definitely learn. It's better to learn, you feel me? That's how I feel like I stay good. I always just remain a student, whether it's becoming an engineer, like the engineer aspect, the recording artist aspect, you know, co-writer aspect, the guys just sitting back and giving advice or just little inputs here and there. All of those are crafts in its own, but they all play a role into making music and a song. So I feel like it's very important to, like, you know your role, of course, but also understand the other aspects and roles that play around, you know, making good product with the music and making good product within the music.
And that's exactly what I want to get into because, like you just said, you know, you're not just a recording artist. You know, I see, like, your name is, you write songs, you engineer.
Right.
So how has that, is it just because you have a love for music in general, or did it start with the rap and you're like, I want to do more than this?
Right. It started for me, first I would have to just, like, the first blunt answer to that is just I didn't want to wait on nobody. I wanted to do what I love to the maximum capacity and not have to wait on nobody, like an engineer or like a producer or like, you know, somebody that I had to just wait on to make me do my job in a sense.
Definitely.
So I tried to do the American dream way and say, hey, I'll go to school for it. Let me go to school for it. I went to school for it, and then I realized like when I got to school, like, man, this is bookwork. It wasn't like going to like a tech school where everything is hands-on, you know what I'm saying? I went to a college for it. So I was like, all right, music production. My music major in sound production. And yeah, I tried to go that route, and I just got slapped with a whole bunch of books. I was like,
sure. What was it, Full Sail?
Nah, that's the thing. I didn't even go to Full Sail. Like, Full Sail is way more hands-on, like, you feel me? But you have to do the prerequisites, like, of course, to get to the equipment at first. But yeah, so I was just like, nah, I can't wait on these books. Like, I just had just super eagerness and just super impatience. You feel me? Some played its pros and some played its cons to that feeling. But I was just very impulsive and just impatient. I was just like, man. So I applied for YouTube University, and they accepted me the first day. And then, you feel me? They was like, yeah, man.
At first, I was like, whoa. I was like,
yeah, YouTube University, man. YouTube you. Found some videos to basically teach how to engineer, and I just studied it. I didn't even touch the computer first. I just literally got a composition notebook, and at first I was somewhat copy and pasting some of the switches on the engineer on the videos were like setting up on their like their platforms, like either Logic or Pro Tools and stuff like that. And then I would try it, like I would just mirror it into mines and then try it for myself and then do little tweakings. And then eventually I got comfortable. I have producer / engineer friends as well that taught me hands-on, like Dream Bills and John G, who I've worked with, and they showed me like little niches and tricks and shortcuts as well. And yeah, so, but all of that was to just not have to wait on nobody, and then to just make my sound better as well, because I realized as an artist too early on that I never really wanted to sound like nobody. I understand that I have moments where, like you'll hear the influence from somebody else, like, oh, you feel me? You'll hear an influence, but other than that, the things that I say and the substance that's in my music, it'll never be somebody else. You know what I'm saying? I like to speak music from a life's perspective in a way, so I give like little stories, whether it's an insider or it's a public, you know what I'm saying, information. But
no, for sure, because you can actually, this is because I don't watch no interviews like 2 days prior to like I'm shooting, because you don't even know it, but subconsciously you might accidentally like rip it.
Right.
Just not on purpose, just might just because I might get heavily inspired. I'm like, oh snap! I found myself having like the same kind of format. Let me change it up.
Right. So I mean, there's always blueprints you should follow.
Yeah,
because
of course.
At the end of the day, these people open the doors for us to do the things that we love to do. You know what I'm saying? But it's like,
we want to show them what we can do.
Yeah, exactly. I want to walk my own path at the end of the day. I see your shoes. I might put your shoes on, but I still want to walk my own path through this. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of like where I took it. Like, yeah, where I'm at now, where I took it from starting off.
So how long did you transition from just doing rap to trying other genres like R&B? I see you got some crazy stuff in the works.
Yeah. Well, initially, like my whole music process, when people like they ask me like, yo, what made you start doing music? And then I just, my simple answer to that is just life. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's encoded in my DNA. Like my grandfather, he was a doo-wop singer. Granted, it wasn't as popular as he wanted to be. He had like management issues, where like at that time, a lot of upcoming like doo-wop artists, they was signed to a management. I mean, that goes on still to this day. But the thing that doesn't happen now, that happened then, is like the management or people that they thought was like in their team would just steal their music and sell it off to somewhere else. And that was a situation that happened to my grandfather. Him and his like group, they were writing music. They thought they signed a management deal, but that management ended up just selling their songs off to a doo-wop group in the UK. And like people were just ended up telling them like, yo, you hear your music? Like they're playing your music overseas and stuff like that. So everybody got discouraged and got their own jobs. But my grandparents and my parents, they always tell me stories about little things that I did, trying to sing at restaurants and, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. So
man, that's crazy. A doo-wop group?
Yeah.
Man, what? That
So with that being said, like it also plays in the same role in a sense where I was just saying where I don't want to make music like anybody else. And like
definitely
early on elementary school, I used to always make parody raps, like like remixes to songs and just say funny things. And that's just where it comes from, just loving to do new things. And I like to shock myself, you feel me, and doing the things that I love, you know what I'm saying, which is the music for sure.
Man, that's what's up. And now off the music, man, I also see your A&R, right? You A&R'd a lady group called Zam, right? How did that come about? How did that situation come about?
That came about First of all, through the grace of God, I would definitely have to say that. That definitely came about through a blessing from the Most High for sure. And it just came from me cooking up with a producer that I work with on a regular, John G. And went to his house, and so happened to be that Trina's boyfriend was there, who's Raymond Taylor. It's a dude, cool dude to look up, you know what I'm saying? Very resourceful, very positive energy dude, you know what I'm saying? Very blessed dude at that too. And I only knew him for like a week. I only knew him for like 2 weeks. I never even thought about it never crossed my mind to be like, yo, I'm gonna be an A&R, you know what I'm saying? And I worked with him. He just caught on. He's very observant. He's very like reserved, but he's like studying the room at the same time, you know, as he's very energetic as well, very extroverted, but at the same time, as he's turning up with you, he's still kind of like observing you and watching you, you know what I'm saying? So like, with that being said, like I guess he was studying me to enough to where he just saw two like groups of people and just said, this two could work, you know what I'm saying? So we were just cooking up on the regular. We probably cooked up for like 2 weeks straight, and then like at the end of the second week, he called me to the studio and he was like, "Yo, come to the studio." I was like, "All right." So I got to the studio, and like that studio we was at, they have like a blunt rule. So like he was sitting in the car smoking a blunt, so I'm like, all right, like they probably didn't let him in there to smoke a blunt. So he was just sitting there. He waited till I got there. He was like, "Yo, I got this girl group that I'm about to sign. Like, I think you gonna like them and stuff like that." And I was like, "All right." I'm thinking we was about to record, so I'm like, "Damn, we ain't recording no music." But he was like, "Yeah, I got this group. You feel me? That I'm about to sign, and I think you'll like them and stuff like that." So
and where was this when this was happening?
This was in Miami, Florida, like not too far from where we're at right now. And then I was like, "All right." And then the girls pulled up, and we smoked with them. We was talking. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be saying all that. But we was parlaying a little bit.
It's 2021. Yeah, we know what's up.
Yeah, we was medicated a little bit. And we parlayed, we chilled. And I think we got to play them some music first. Like me and John G, we got to play them some music we was just working on that month. And Ray, like us three were all working on. And then they started playing their music and like performing it. I'm sitting on like the couch in the studio and they rapping to me and like performing it. And I'm like, damn, like they sliding, like they actually snapping, like they doing their thing. And what sold it to me was the performance. And like my brain, like a lot of my peers, like friends who are trying to become recording artists or have established themselves as recording artists, they have me around because I naturally just give inputs to I'm not even trying to make a song through these artists. I just naturally give input to help your song be the best song that it could be. So the way my brain works when I'm in a music setting is like I was seeing it, but I was also catching what was missing from it. But I was also realizing what they had that I didn't have, which is the performance set. Like, you feel me? Their performance was already like on lock.
Which is important nowadays, right? Because, you know, nowadays you go to these shows and a lot of the times, yeah, the music is great.
Right.
But the performance, you know, is very, you know, like besides the little Uzis and Cardis, and, you know, it's kind of a little iffy on the performance. Right. It's getting better now. Says them. Will say that. Right. But I think that plays a very important role with the whole and part of a show because that's entertainment. You know, the whole visuals. Right. You know, what you hear, the song. Right. So I think that all plays a role. What you think about that?
Right. I mean, recording artists, they definitely have to understand that recording music and performing music is two separate crafts for sure. Like, you feel me? You might be good at one, you might not be good at the other. You might have to just practice until you get good. And while we were talking to the girls after, like when I met them initially, they were explaining to me how they weren't even making music that long. So that's why it was so shocking to me. I was like, damn, y'all performance is like, you can't even tell. Like, I cannot tell. Like, sorry about that, but I can't tell. You feel me? And so it was natural to me when the help came. And even from that point on, it still wasn't even on the level of being an A&R. After the girls signed their deal and they got their entertainment lawyer, they respected me enough to where they wanted me to be properly like dealt with, in a sense of not even compensation, and just in the situation on how I'm around them and what am I doing and stuff like that. So when they spoke to their entertainment lawyer, the lawyer asked them, you know, what is he that he does? And everything that they explained to him, that's when they told him, like, oh, okay, he's an A&R. He's not just a songwriter, you know what I'm saying, or a co-writer. He's actually doing A&R work for you guys. And that's how everything basically
And how does that feel, knowing that, okay, like, yeah, you know how to push your music, you know how to push your stuff, but how does it feel pushing for another artist or a group?
Right. It feels really good to me, I was basically practicing it the whole time, like coming up in South Florida when I was making music, because I had so many friends that were making music, and I was already helping them with their music. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to my boy Trey. That's my rap brother right there, like up here. Like anytime, he actually brought me to the first recording. He brought me to my first recording. He introduced me to Dream Bills. He brought me to my first recording studio session, period. You know what I'm saying? I don't mean to bring a tragic story up, but when I was in high school, I ended up getting locked up. And when I was locked up, a lot of people were like making promises like, oh, yo, you gotta, trying to, I feel like I wouldn't say like fake promises, but I'll say they were trying to like uplift me. So when I was speaking to them, they were kind of like telling me things that'll make me feel good. Yeah. And I ended up speaking to Trey, and he was like, yo, when you get out, I'm gonna introduce you to Dreams, and we gonna get to the studio. Like me and him used to always talk about it, because me and him at that time, we didn't really know each other. We knew each other from, you're the rapper at this school, and I'm the rapper. Like, I just got here, and I'm the rapper at this school, and I know people from middle school, So he kept his word on that. Like, when I got out, a whole week didn't even go by. The weekend came. I think I came out, like, on a Tuesday or something like that. And then, like, the weekend hit, and he took me straight to the studio. Paid for my session and everything. And then I ended up meeting the producer that I still work with to this day. That's my boy. And, yeah, like, that's when I got fond of the whole recording process and stuff like that.
Do you look forward to like doing it for other artists?
Now I do. I mean, I love it so much. It's like if you're making music in front of me, I cannot not like if I don't see you need no help. Yeah, like sorry to cut you off, but if I don't see you need any help, I'll fall back. You know what I'm saying? But if I hear something creative, I'll give you little inputs and but like if you're making music around me, I cannot not give an input. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna step on no toes or cross no lines or nothing like that, but it's just a natural ability to me, like, you know what I'm saying?
True. And now let's go back to you. Now let's go back to your performances. You told me you performed before, right?
Right.
So tell me how that started with your first performance. And how is it now?
My first performance, and it's crazy. I don't even mean to keep bringing my boy up Dreams, but he was there. Like, my first performance, it was a show it was a party that me and my boy Rasan threw, and like it was like at Silver Lakes.
Hey, we got to tell them about that too, by the way.
Right. Oh, yeah, facts.
We got to kick back into that.
Facts. Me and Rasan had threw a party in Silver Lakes, and this is kind of like around that same time, and me and Cloud, we had a song, we did a remix to Young and Getting It, and it was kind of like buzzing around the high school and stuff like that, and then we were like they just basically was like, yo, perform. People used to always kind of tell me like, yo, perform, but I was still like, I understood that I was new to it, so I was like, nah, I still got to work on it, and I'm really just trying to give my focus to like my pen. Like I really wanted to better my pen and stuff like that, so I was like, you feel me? I understood music on a language level, so I knew it like, I knew the song and the remix that I had wasn't really like a performance type song, so I was like not really pressing it. Like I was like, nah, I don't really care to perform this, but I guess since everybody's telling me to perform it, I might as well. But first time I performed, man, I just took a big ass shot of Grey Goose, man, and just went.
That's how you know it was back in the day. Grey Goose.
Grey Goose, man. We wasn't even on no Henny or nothing like that. It was Grey Goose. But Dream Bills was definitely the DJ. I didn't even notice him or know him. I seen pictures and then realized like, oh, damn, that was you that was there. And then
small world. We just said Florida was like we said when we first recorded.
Performed, took that big shot and performed. And then by the time I came downstairs, like I was going downstairs because we performed like on a balcony. Like it was in the back of the house, but it was like on a balcony. And the party was like in the backyard. By the time I came downstairs, it was so much like love and reception. I was just like, man, like, damn, this is what it feels like, And then later on, I ended up getting management with Dream Bills. And she was setting up with different promoters for that was giving shows to like independent artists and stuff like that. And that's what kind of gave me and Rasan the blueprint onto how to do the parties and events to let us do our own thing, you know what I'm saying?
And then, so explain to us about those. What were those events looking like?
Those events were like at somewhat like restaurants or like bars. They were like little hole in the wall spots. They weren't like too popular. And I feel like that was the reason why those people were like kind of renting those places out to us. It was kind of like help them build up, their places, stuff like that. But they were all, back in the day, they were all like in Fort Lauderdale. They weren't even in Southwest Broward area, you know what I'm saying? Like Miramar and Pines and kind of going. I'm pretty sure there was like indie shows in Miami, but it was a lot of indie shows that we were doing, I was doing with my management in Fort Lauderdale, like North Lauderdale area and stuff like that. But they were like they were a little unorthodox at first, but eventually over time, that's when like they started they started letting media come out to the shows, or like the people who threw the shows had a media team as well. They started to get a little bit more organized, but it was definitely fun and nervous as hell, like nerve-wracking. Very nervous. I was very nervous at first.
What made it so nervous? What made you nervous about it?
It was because the type of music that I did compared to the people who were on the set list. Like, it was very different. Like, there was Miami rap or like South Florida rap, which had like, you know, a slower tempo, or I wouldn't even really say a tempo. It was just the sound that was in South Florida at that time. They were rapping differently compared to me. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, damn, are they gonna feel this shit?
No, but that's inspiring though, because like what you said, like you don't want to sound like anybody. You know, you just stay in your lane. So God forbid, you know, what makes you stay motivated? Because we know, like, not everybody can, like, you know, our project. So what keeps you motivated?
What keeps me motivated is me personally understanding that I don't know everything, and I'm not 100% like where I want to be. So that alone keeps me motivated. You feel me? It's just like a self-acceptance and a self-understanding that I have. And like I said, I feel like, in my opinion, I feel like in order to be great, you got to remain a teacher. You know what I'm saying? Somebody has to. You don't know everything, and if you do, then keep, you know what I'm saying, kudos to you. But you can't really know everything because times change. Like, everything is always changing. Whether the clock revolves, even if when it comes back around, like, it's still going to be different. Like, it might be similar, but it's never going to be back to that, because, like, a lot of people say the music is going back to where it was, like conscious rap compared to like trap music. You know what I'm saying? It could go back to conscious rap, but it's not going to be the same from what it was in the 70s or 80s or 90s when it was conscious. You know what I'm saying? This level of consciousness now, where we're at now, is totally different from the level of consciousness where we was in the 70s, 80s, or 90s. You know?
Yeah, because, you know, take a rap group like Griselda.
Right.
That's me right now. I cannot escape them for some reason. I be trying, but. So yeah, I feel you on that. It's definitely like a lyrical conscious rap, especially Conway the Machine.
Right.
But it just hits different in today's age. It's not like that boom bap, boom bap.
Right.
So I definitely agree with that, man. But also another question I wanted to ask you was, you know, you can't be afraid to take L's, right? Mm-hmm. So what stops you from not giving up? Because, you know, sometimes like the youth, you know, they might be a little, you know, troubled minded, you know, so, you know, we want to make sure that, you know, you never have to give up, and there's always a way. So
what stops me from giving up? Sorry to cut you. I definitely have to give praise to the Most High and say God is what stops me from not giving up. That's first and foremost. Second, it's definitely my team around me. I definitely have to give them that as well too. Like and third, without giving any explanation, is just being self-disciplined, because of, like, when you're somebody that not wants to be different, but just understand that you just understand your life path. You know, you have your own journey. You know what I'm saying? You have your own experiences. You have your own story to tell, in a sense. It might not be called on, like, people might not latch on right away. You know what I'm saying? There might be some type of strategy you got to come up with, some type of tactics you have to come up with to grasp these people and get them to pay attention, or get them to, like, you know, tune in, basically. So I just have an understanding, you know what I'm saying? And one thing I don't do is compare myself. And I just don't like to compare myself. When you compare yourself,
I think that's when it starts to get confusing, because you're like, wait, I'm doing it just like so-and-so, but I'm not at the same position as so-and-so. No, man, just take your own route, you know, don't be scared. You know, everybody got their own road to travel on.
Right. And I failed a lot. Like, I fell a lot. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Like, if you fall down a lot, you know, it's like, have you ever skateboarded?
Oh yeah, man, I don't want to get into that. It didn't last long.
The first things you have to do is get used to is falling down. Like, you feel me? It's like playing football. It's like, if you're scared to get hit, you'll never make a touchdown. You feel me? Exactly. You have to eventually accept the fact, like, yo, I'm gonna get hit. You feel me? I'm gonna get hit. I'm gonna fall down. I might break a toe. I might break an ankle. I might break an arm. You feel me? It's just an acceptance. You know what I'm saying? And a determination that I had to develop. And just kind of tell myself, like, yo, I got to push through. I got to keep pushing through. This is not working. All right, so let me sit back like real players do and freaking, you feel me, try to find a new strategy or find a new tactic to get in. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of, I feel like that's kind of how That's basically how I operate. And what a lot of people they sleep on doing is they fail to see how God or the universe works for you. You know what I'm saying? When you wake up in the morning, you're not thinking about your heart beating. You're not thinking about breathing. Life is already working for you. You know what I'm saying? You just got to find the other things in life that works for you to make it move and make it go to the way you see it going in your destiny. You know?
Right, man. That's perfect to tie into what advice would you give a young artist that's trying to come up?
Definitely develop a sense of discipline. You know what I'm saying? And like I was just saying, just get ready to get hit, man. Get ready. Pause. But definitely be ready to take some punches, man. You feel me? Just, get ready to get hit. If you're following the route of somebody else, it might work out for you. It might come quick, but you just definitely got to understand as fast as something goes up, it'll be as fast as that shit comes down. You know what I'm saying? Sure. When you understand that you're something different or you're something special, you have your own story and journey to talk about. And, you just got to understand that, this might take time because the world is already programmed to Xanax, popping the ass, pop that pussy, you know what I'm saying? They're programmed to that. So you got to kind of like spoon feed them at first, give them something new to taste real quick and like, oh, you like that? You like that, right? And then eventually give them the meal. Like, okay, I got a
milk before the food.
Right. I got a whole full course meal for you. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's just understanding the process, man. People say trust the process. Trust the process after you understand the process. Because if you don't understand the process, you're not even going to be able to trust it. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I appreciate you coming out, man.
Yeah, likewise,
that was just a lot of game you just spat, man. So I hope you guys appreciate it, man. Is there any future projects you got coming up? Anything you want to share with them?
Yes, I actually have a song coming out next week. It was supposed to be out this week, but I was like, I'm going to just put it out next week. Power to the people, man. But nah, I definitely should have a song coming out next week. I'll drop it for the top of the week. And just working with Zam, you feel me? We have a lot of new music coming out with Zam, the group that I A&R for. Amazing talent, you feel me? They shock me damn near every other studio session. And that's not even me being biased or being funny or trying to gas nobody up. They literally shock me every time we work on something new, you feel me? So, that's pretty much about it. Just pretty much, yeah.
And where can they find you at, bro?
Space the Prince. SPACETHAPRINCE. There you go.
We gonna spell it out for you. And I'm Derek X301. Another episode 6 of Ordinary Others. Once again, I appreciate you, my brother.
You, man. Ordinary Others, man. That's me, man.
That's a wrap.